Do you feel like it's hard to stay on plan when hard things are happening in life or even just when you're super busy? I know that one of my top questions that I get as a certified THM coach is what do I do when something crazy happens, something unexpected? And I also hear from people in my boot camps and my one on one clients when they first get started, they have this assumption that they can't stay on plan when hard things are happening in life. And that is absolutely not true. In fact, I have found personally that staying on plan helps me handle stress better, helps me handle those tough situations better, because I'm not also throwing my body into an inflammatory state with lots of off plan foods or sugar or things that I'm tempted to eat. Kind of recently, I had multiple crises over a several day period. We had a child with a broken ankle and just had like multiple things happen over a couple days where I couldn't cook a single thing. But I stayed 100% on plan. I ate delicious meals and none of them took more than 10 minutes to make. Here's how you can completely stay on plan when things like that happen. One is strategic prep. Strategic means if you don't have time to cook, it's okay because you have things in your freezer that are building blocks for on plan meals that you can use later. In my freezer at all times, I have cooked ground beef, shredded cooked beef. It's not ground, but cooked and shredded like pulled beef. I've got cooked chicken that's cubed. I've got brown rice, quinoa. I have a dessert. I've got muffins, all of those things. And no, I did not spend hours putting them all together in one prep session. I made them one at a time. When I was already making dinner, I'd go ahead and make like a batch of muffins and freeze half of them and eat half of them. But always having those things ready to go. By the way, I didn't eat them all at once. I mean, I would leave them out in the fridge so I could grab them as I wanted that week and I'd freeze the other half. But having those foods prepped strategically, ready to go so I can put meals together with those things. If I have some, let's say, ground chicken or very lean ground beef that's rinsed in my freezer and some brown rice in my freezer that's already cooked, I can make cowboy grubs super fast. If I make a batch of soup and I freeze half of it in serving sizes, which is actually what I did during this most recent crisis time, I would have, those single servings of soup that I would just pull one out in the morning, move it to the fridge. By lunchtime, it was about ready to go into a pot. So having those things ready is really, really important and absolutely, I think, will just save you tons of time, whether you're in a crisis or not. The next thing, and we get so in depth on all of this in boot camp. If you haven't gone through boot camp yet, I think you would absolutely benefit from it. I know you would. It's called a game changer for a reason, but buying drive-through foods and comfort foods from the store that are on plan and keeping those stocked up. So those drive-through foods are things that are already cooked for you, things you don't have to make at home, things that I bought or actually had delivered when we were in the middle of a crisis. I had no time to cook for multiple days, were things like pre-made jalapeno poppers. I had some pre-cooked chicken wings delivered that were just like salt and garlic pepper. I was able to check the ingredients. We want to make sure there's no off-plan starches or sugars in those things. But finding the foods, pre-cooked brown rice, if you don't have time to make it, you can get it in the freezer section at a lot of stores. Pre-cooked quinoa is the same. Pre-cooked bacon, pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs. Yes, it might cost a little bit more than making it on your own at home, but when you're in a crisis, your priority needs to be to take care of yourself, take care of people around you. And the best way to do that is when you're feeding yourself healthy foods and actually nourishing your body, not giving your body more to deal with. So in my case, I was able to do a grocery order, get some pre-cooked foods. The hard-boiled eggs were a great time saver. Getting a rotisserie chicken, so I had some protein that I could either use the dark meat for an S or the white meat for an E or FP. Absolutely saved tons of time. So getting those drive-through items to make it easier. And I include comfort foods in that. I did have some Rebel ice cream delivered. I don't eat a lot of it, but I knew that in a time of high stress, I'd be more likely to reach for something that was off plan. So I wanted to have something on plan to make it easier on myself to be successful and set myself up for success. So getting those drive-through items can be a huge help. And the third tip is to be smart with meals that are provided. You don't have to throw Grandma Betty's casserole down and say, I'm not eating this, because you're on plan. Absolutely not. You don't have to not be thankful for food that people bring you in time of crisis. Absolutely not. What a gift and what a blessing that is. But That doesn't mean we have to eat all the dessert. That doesn't mean that we have to go crazy. And what I have found is that if somebody brings chicken soup, I can eat the chicken, I can eat the veggies, I can eat the broth and try to get just a few noodles in my bowl and not eat the noodles. I can get, if somebody gives me spaghetti and meatballs, it may not be perfect, it may not be perfectly unplanned, but having the meatballs with the sauce and skipping the spaghetti is a lot gentler on my blood sugar than just going to town and eating whatever's on the plate. People often will ask what they can bring, and being honest with them about, what is good for you. I know they're doing you a favor and I know they're being kind, but I have never minded when someone has shared food restrictions with me when I'm taking food to somebody who needs it. But really just being thoughtful about it, being careful about it. We've had somebody bring sandwiches and I just ate everything out of the sandwich and skipped the bread. That way I'm not feeling yucky from spiking my blood sugar, but I'm still able to show my appreciation and thanks and enjoy what was brought to me. It was sustenance, it was needed, and it was so helpful. So I hope those are just a few ideas. And man, we go deep in boot camp on a lot of that stuff. If you want to learn more, you could just go to thewellplannedkitchen.com/THM Bootcamp. But those are just a few tips. We are going really in depth on all the strategies you need to stay on plan in tons of situations in boot camp. And I hope to see you there, but hopefully this video gave you a few ideas.